I do want you to remember Descartes is the father of modern philosophy, and the shift comes from age of faith to an age of radical doubt. That's what marks the modern era. Unfortunately, Descartes did not stop there, and he came up with this other brilliant idea called Cartesian dualism. And in Cartesian dualism, he talks about God, but he also talks about there being modes of existence. And these modes are seen in thought and extension. Extension would be like physical, like matter. I'll just say matter. And here it would be mind. So this would be mind, matter, or body distinction. Extension is physical things, thought, mental, non-tangible things. And his point he's making is he's calling them substances, but this is a problem because according to the scholastics I talked about on our last lecture, the scholastics define substance as that which is self-existing and self-consisting. Okay, one more time. Substance is that which is self-existing and self-consisting. By that definition, how many substances are in the universe? Or can you name even one substance that is self-existing, self-subsisting? No, the sun was created.
And it will die.
And it will diminish. Anything that wasn't created or doesn't need anything else for its existence? God. God is the only thing that qualifies by that definition. Right. Very good. Right. So what Descartes is saying, though, he's acting like mind and body are substances, which this is a problem now if we have two substances and not just one substance. And let me give you an example why we're having this problem. Descartes says thoughts can affect thoughts, or minds can affect mind, but mind cannot affect extension or matter. So if I want to get you to change your thinking, I can't just come up to you and whack you upside the head with a 2x4 and pound my good ideas into your noggin. I have to use my mind to get into your mind to change your mind. But if I want to physically hurt you, I can't just sit in the front of the room and think mean thoughts at you. I have to physically pick up a chair or something and whack you with it if I want to physically hurt you. If I want to mentally hurt you, I'm going to use my mind. If I want to physically hurt you, I have to use my body. Does that make sense? Now, I think I have a pretty, can you get a close-up of this? Because I'm going to try, I've tried this every class. And you guys know what telekinesis is? It's where you use mind to move matter. Okay, so I need absolute silence in the room. Now, watch that mug. I don't think I can bring it all the way to my hand, but see if we can at least make it move. Are you ready? I'm trying. Concentrate here. My beard moved. My beard extends out and grabs him up. Okay. Yeah! But see, I can take a physical object like this marker, and I can go over, and look at this. I can move it all over the place. I'm using a physical thing to use physical. This silly little thing. And even with the greatness of my mind, I can't budge that object, not even a millimeter. What the heck is going on? Oh my gosh, did you see what I just did? I just used my mind to pick up my mug. I was thinking I want a sip of coffee. You missed it. I just used my mind to pick up my mug. Okay. You might say, Blackburn, no, you used your hand to pick up your mug. Well, guess what, people?
And your hand is controlled by your mind.
Yeah, what's this? Raise your right arm. Lower your right arm. I just use a thought to control physical, material reality. Why can I control this and I can't control that? What is going on? Why do I have a mental connection to this physical body, but I can't physically control other bodies with my mind? And that became the problem of Descartes' dualism. If matter can only affect matter and mind can only affect mind, how are we walking around as humans in bodies which we're obviously using mind to move matter? And I'll tell you, if you get sick or injured, it's going to affect your mind. If I'm driving my car and I get a fender bender or something, yeah, it's a bummer and I might be a little upset, but it's not really my body, right? My brain isn't like cyber linked to my vehicle, at least not yet. That's probably 5 years down the road yet, until we can just plug and play into our consciousness, into our vehicles. But if I stub my toe or get my foot cut off, that's affecting me. I'm talking about that's my foot, my body. It's affecting me even on a mental level. And we've all seen people talk about the power of prayer or positive thinking for health and those sorts of things. Just that mental effect on the physical, or how depression, anger, bitterness can actually make people physically sick or ill, right? Mm-hmm. It's amazing. So we do know there is an interplay between mind and body. What we don't know is why or how. Let me see if I can pull up an image real quick for you. So basically what Descartes is saying is, we have this gland in the middle of our brain called the pineal gland, and we do have a pineal gland. If it does what Descartes is claiming it does, though, we have no way of knowing. Because even if we could put in a micro camera into the brain and say, okay, I want you to think a certain thought, we can't see thoughts. We can see the results of thoughts, and our neuroscience and things like that have come a long ways where we can actually map the brain. We can tell where the smell centers are, where the vision centers are, where the cognitive functions are happening, but we can't see a thought because they're not tangible things. We can see the biochemical reaction, but we can't see the thoughts themselves. So this is what Descartes' theory on all this. He believes that when we see an object like that coffee mug, my thoughts begin to vibrate around the pineal gland. And my thoughts affect the animal spirits within the pineal gland, and those agitate and go down my arm till I touch the mug. Then they vibrate back up my arm around the pineal gland, letting me know you have secured the mug, and now my thought can be bring it to my lips. It registers, and it goes back down. He's basically describing the central nervous system, but once again, purely philosophically. The problem is, we still don't know that interplay. Like, how does that work? How do we get our thoughts to affect our body? My friend Carl, quadriplegic, brilliant mind, but he could not move his body. Now his parasympathetic nervous system, that's the one you don't have to think about, right? Biology majors? Parasympathetic, is that like your breathing, your digestion, your circulation? Where sympathetic is me raising my hand, leg, that sort of stuff. Okay, so he does not have any more voluntary control below his shoulders, but he still can digest, his blood still flows, that sort of thing. Freaky. His body's still there. He can look at his foot all day long and can't move it, just like I can't move the coffee mug. What is going on? He has somehow been disconnected from his body. Now, at 16, he had a spinal cord injury from diving off a pier, but his spinal cord's still there. He's not just a head in a box, but for whatever reason, there's a disconnect between his thoughts and his body. If you want a mini example of this, take your middle finger and lay it flat on the table, and then try to raise your ring finger. This one has to be flat. And you can, every once in a while I get a student that can do it, and they got some weird special thing. But you can look at it, you can think about it all you want, you can't move it. Isn't that weird? All right. Along with mind, so this would be things like soul, spirit, metaphysics. This would be like, this would kind of be like this one. Mind would be kind of like your brain. Okay, you got a physical body, you got a brain, you have the physical universe. But see, other philosophers came by after Descartes. Oh, by the way, he died of, I think, like a common cold and wasn't able to answer the critiques of that pineal gland situation. Even if it's true, there's no way to prove that's what's happening, because we can't see that mind-body interplay. Other philosophers, though, saw what he was doing, and they're like, well, why, if God is spirit, why isn't God over here and the physical universe over here? And this will become very significant when we start to see the people that critique it. So you might want to keep this chart handy, the mind-body Cartesian dualism chart, because all the other philosophers in the modern period are going to have to deal with Descartes' issue before they can make their own progressive philosophy. He kind of got us in this knot, this Gordian knot of philosophy that we haven't been able to extract ourselves from. So people use different techniques.